DreamHack ASTRO Open is brought to you by ASTRO, Monster Energy, Corsair, Zowie, and Intel.
Welcome back to Atlanta. The sun continues to shine outside, and we are surrounded by beautiful Georgians. I don't know what are they called.
You're asking me like I'm a local expert here. Georgians? I don't know.
Georgians, Atlantans, and we are inside the Georgia World Congress Center playing for that trophy that you just saw there on screen. Let there be light. We are back.
For one, yeah.
NRG versus Godsent is our next best of three. We are over into Group B now. Let's briefly look at the groups and how we got to this point in Group B. And we can sum up. First, what we just saw over on Group A, we saw Misfits with a relatively convincing 2-0 win over Binary Dragons to go and to keep them into Group A, and they'll go up to play Hellraisers later today. But as I say, we are over in Group B now, and our next game is that elimination match. We are going to be saying goodbye to either NRG or Godsent, and the winner will stay in Group B and go to face Envious later on today. So what do we make of this matchup?
Well, right off the bat, again, it's a similar storyline for whenever we talk about NRG, the fact that they haven't necessarily impressed us. I don't think any of us was really impressed by what we saw yesterday. Yeah, sure, tough matchup and all that, but still, you know, just getting 5 rounds on the board is not going to do a whole lot to really change our opinion of how the general theme of that team is going. And
well, let's delve more into NRG while we look at them on the stage, so we can jump as quickly into it as we can. What learnings can NRG take from yesterday's experience?
Learnings? I think they just should stick to their game plan a little bit longer. I think they had a good game plan coming into Cobble against Envious, and just the way Envious was reacting was really smart. They're getting just like these 2 or 3 Ks that they shouldn't have been getting. So I think just stick to the game plan. Don't go out of your comfort zone. Just play to your strengths. Starting off on the left here, we have Pete, which is, like I said, like he says, he's the heart and soul of the team. He's the opper. Then we had Breeze, which is the new big talent on the team. And I would definitely say he's has to be leading stats-wise on the team, and he's really the player that can carry NRG into a victory here. Here's Pete on the screen. And then from Breeze, we got to the in-game leader, Daps. And Daps, I previously played with Liquid, so he has a lot of experience from Liquid. He was on Optic for a while, in-game leading. So I think if he can kind of collect all of his experience, he should be a pretty knowledgeable in-game leader on directing them where they need to go. So yeah, and then coming off here we have Fugly, and Fugly is going to be like the dedicated site guy. He's not going to be rotating too often or making like an all-star performance, but he's very reliable at staying alive. When he was my teammate on Liquid, he was very good at just delaying time, waiting for rotations, grabbing a pick, falling back, you know, grabbing another pick, and just staying alive and just making the terrorists really work for his work to kill him. And then the last guy is ANJ.
Yeah. Newish to the team, right? New addition.
Well, extremely new, honestly. Well, he got his visa right before I think the day before the tournament, so that's about as fresh as you can get. Obviously coming out of Denmark, had a great tournament at Copenhagen Games with Singularity, which they ended up winning, which so happened to be a tournament where NRG were at as well. So I think that's, we talked about how Daps in the past has scouted players from Europe. He was the one who started really like initiating the pickup Mixwell, which obviously turned out pretty darn well. And I think it was the same story for ANJ as well, so it wouldn't be too surprising if he caught some eyes from the NRG side at that event. So now we're seeing him here. He hasn't really had the time to kind of acclimate to the new team, so it's understandable if he has some lackluster performances. But again, with the kind of situation that NRG find themselves in, you would expect them to... they're kind of in a hurry to right the ship in that sense.
Yeah, we can chat a little bit more about that, but let's first jump over to the other side of the stage, and we have Godsent, Pronax and his boys. Let's have a look at that lineup and walk through those a little bit.
Yeah, so obviously Godsent coming here with a stand-in. You saw him there right at the end of your screen. Pith is playing in place of Schneider, who's not able to make the event. From the left, you got Disco Doppelin, Lekro, Twist, Pyth, and Pronax. So fairly well-known names, just even to the more casual viewer. These are guys who've been in very, very, very known teams. Disco Doppelin obviously had a bit of a stint in Fnatic. Same thing with Pronax. Won a couple of majors. You know, not that bad. Same thing with Lekro as well. When he came onto the scene in his first tournament with Godsent and everything, just kind of blew everyone away by what kind of talent was hiding in those Swedish forests. And Pyth, obviously known for his time in NIP, and Twist, famously known as the guy who turned down NIP frequently, and rather chose to play with other guys.
Disco Doppelin might be my favorite gamer name.
It is a pretty good one. I'm not gonna lie.
Every time he comes up, I have a smirk.
Yeah, no, it is pretty good. I mean, I don't know how he came about it, but I'm glad he did.
He loves to disco. He loves to dance.
But where's the Doppelin thing coming from?
Oh, maybe that's just his nickname. Like,
I
would be Disco Duffer.
I always think
that would actually be a sick name right there. That would be so good.
And there he is.
Yeah.
Joachim.
And we've seen you know, over the course of Godsent, they've obviously been through an immense amount of struggles as of late, and we've seen every player pretty much attempt to do any single role you can imagine. Disco Doppelin has been picking up the op at times. Schneider, when he was playing with them, did so as well. I still want Twist to just fully commit to opping because I think he'd be amazing at it. We saw it actually a fair bit yesterday, but then again, this team is coming into the tournament with not too much preparation at hand, obviously with Pith being a last-minute addition to the side. So you kind of see some wonky strats. You see a very loose playstyle that doesn't necessarily have any like end goal to what they're doing. So I think at one point in Overpass, we saw a T-sided team actually picking up 3 ops.
Yeah, they definitely didn't look prepared on Overpass at all. Starting off here, Nuke. I don't think Godsent plays Nuke at all. So
no,
it's
they
just
just
like
insta-veto. Yeah.
NRG have been in cash. I'm not too sure why. I guess they just I'm not feeling it right now. Just wanted to get that out of the way.
I think it's one of like the 2 maps that Godsent has a win on the last 3 months, because it sounds terrifying to say, but like there's actually like 3 or 4 maps in the map pool of Godsent that they haven't won on the last 3 months. Like, that's how bad of a time they're having. Obviously, they haven't been the most active squad as of late, but that's still just unheard of. Like, even the, well, you know, in all things relative, even the worst teams that qualify for tournaments have some wins on some maps, or it's just like a permaban for them or something that slipped through here or there once 3 months ago. But Godsent have just really had a rough time with most of these things. So I think it's a pretty easy job for NRG in that sense to decide how they want to veto against Godsent. They have to let through either Mirage or Cash, and they decide to go, you know, to remove Cash. I guess that might be them feeling more comfortable on Mirage than anything else, or more so than Cash at least.
So NRG decided to pick Mirage, was that correct?
No, the Godsent picked Mirage, but
Godsent,
yeah, but NRG probably feel more comfortable playing Godsent on Mirage than Cash.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah, not so too surprising in that sense. The Godsent just have an extremely weak map pool, and the fact that they're playing with a stand-in obviously doesn't make it stronger. So again, that's the biggest worry for me. Individually though, I do think that every single Godsent player, probably bar Pronax, just outshines, or should outshine, the members on NRG. I think maybe outside of a Peter who's playing like he does online, or Breeze when he hits his stride.
Yeah, or I suppose with Peter as well, with his mentality and having that positivity, that hopefully that carries on through the entire best of 3. Let's jump straight into predictions. We do want to get into this game as quickly as possible. Vendetta, which way are you going to be going?
I'm going to side with the Swedes for this one. Again, it's just, not that Godsent has impressed me by any means, but it's just the fact that I've seen too much of energy and been disappointed enough times. They just constantly keep lowering the bar for me as to where they can go. And yeah, sure, there's individuals here and there that actually do okay for themselves at times, but as a team, it just keeps to go further and further down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, and Eric, yesterday you said you hope to see Godsent maybe test some things out. Do you think this is their platform against NRG to be able to do that and prevail?
I mean, they could, but I don't know if they can even risk it to...
I will actually say, I saw Pronax tweeting. Apparently, this is like pro tips from Flusha that he's gotten.
Okay.
They're going to do dumb stuff, but be confident about it. That was literally just like the statement.
Do dumb stuff together.
Yeah, do dumb stuff together and be confident about it when you're doing it. So
I'm actually going to go just kind of against logic. I would usually go for Godsent here, But I'm just going to go for NRG just to be on the other side.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
You know, I want to see those guys do good, so I'm just going to go with them just because I like them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Now, James, now you're in a tough spot.
I was.
Now you have to choose, who's your favorite out of the two of us?
I'm in a little bit of a pickle.
Yeah. Because now you're not choosing between like what side you actually think you're winning.
Yep.
Like, who do you like more of us, me or Eric?
Oh, okay. I void my prediction. I don't want to do one. No, I'll say Godsent. I'll say Godsent. I'm sorry, Eric. It's no offense.
Well, maybe we can actually, if Godsent does win, Smix can ask who is in-game leading for the team, since Max is not sitting in the middle.
And if he is, why is he over there?
Yeah.
What's the thinking behind that? Maybe it's just mind games, I think.
Yeah.
We are going to jump into the game very soon, so let's say hello to our casters again, Risk and Blue. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. Ready to jump into this next match. It should actually be a pretty close one, as you guys have been discussing there.
Yeah, definitely. NRG has probably the best chance that they've ever had at DreamHack Open, at least in these two last events, to get something done, to not just get eliminated, because Godsent have not been impressive, in my opinion.
And your quick predictions before we jump into it?
Probably going to swing with Godsent on this one.
Yeah, obviously I'm Danish, so I have to go against the Swedes and say NRG.
Oh, wow, it's really split.
Well, he's got the one Dane on energy, you know, that's...
One Dane.
Yeah.
He's going to change
all it takes.
Don't worry. And A&J to drop 30 bombs. Trust me.
Okay, great. I think we are ready to jump straight in, so you guys take it away with NRG and Godsent.
All right, well, thank you very much. And of course, that first map is going to be here on Inferno. And we are pretty much ready to get started with it here. The knife round has already been completed, so we're just waiting for the players themselves to get ready. And then we can start off on our first map. Now, you're saying A&J to drop 30 bombs? Yeah. A&J was the one struggling yesterday.
I know.
Let's talk about that first. He actually had a pretty weak start.
Yeah, to be honest, that was mostly for the memes. Because, A&J right now in a position where, of course, he's a sick player, and when he's in his comfort zone, he's delivering his A game and he's ready to go. He's gonna drop 30 bombs, but he's just not there yet at all for RNG. Or NRG, actually. But it's an interesting story because, of course, him moving over there, we've seen that a couple of times. He saw Pimp do it for Liquid and all that stuff. But it takes some time to getting used to playing in a new country, playing with new teammates and everything. I would say at least a month with no tournaments going on, a month with like 100% preparation. And AJ has not had that. He's only just gotten his visa to move into the US, literally the day before he left for this tournament. Did not prac with the team in between Valencia and here. And also at Valencia, he was at a point where he wasn't ready either. So yeah, I don't think he's going to do that well. I would be very surprised if he drops 30, but of course very happy. But I think in a month or two, he's going to be in a position where he can be one of the star players. Like him and Breeze on this team is going to be insane in 1 or 2 months' time, in my opinion.
All right, so I believe we're just waiting on Godsent to already have known. Then we can get started with it. So we saw him on the screen a moment ago, of course. You can now see we have Pitt on the screen there, too, who's standing in for Schneider, I believe. But we also, again, have to focus up when we look at the energy side, and there's AJ as well. But we also have to look at players like Breeze, who we got to look at earlier, who, like I said, I really feel like they could use him more aggressively. We really didn't see a whole lot of that yesterday in their match there. So I'm kind of hoping we see more increased aggression now that they're going to be able to swing over towards their map pick first here. They're going to have their choice, and they know how to use them. In fact, Breeze has had, as far as I can remember, some of his best performances on this map now. So this is a great pick for them. It works out really well in the favor of energy, and actually they could swing this first map away as a result of that, but they need to be able to use him properly and put him in those positions where he can show up aggressively and really come out with that entry power that he's known for. But it does look like, folks, we are ready to jump into the first map, though, so let's go. It's NRG taking on Godsent here in a best-of-3 series, fighting for survival to move on into another best-of-3 in the group final. Let's take a look and see who's going to be able to start off strong here on the first map.
Lekro going for the confidence peak towards second mid, does not get anything out of it. Will be forced to rotate back as NRG takes control of the apartments. Pushing in there, AJ taking out Disco Goblin. That's a great start. That's banana control kind of thwarted. But very interesting to note that they were actually stacking 3 ZT players on banana. AJ still managed to get the first kill. Now, more terrorists are coming in.
Twist will catch that trade on the Fugly, bringing things down into a 4v4. AJ still holds the line with the edge of Banana, so he's going to prevent any more CTs from being able to push through, at least until, of course, he would eventually go down, but that might not even be the case as he picks up another frag. Twist, however, meanwhile, over on that A bomb site, was able to take out Breeze, and Twist with another nice frag finally shuts down A&J, and Lekro from inside of the pit on the A bomb site finds Peter, leaving only Daps alive, sitting just over here in the middle underpass area.
It started off so well for NRG, but in the end just got completely wrecked by Twist over that banana position. Picked up a nice 3K, but yeah, once again, it kind of looked like NRG, they were I saw two potential executes for them, taking apartments control and then executing towards that A bomb side, taking banana control and executing towards B. And it kind of looked like they were split up between those two ideas. So definitely need to get 100% on point. Maybe it's because they called out one strat, then got the opening on banana, and then were like, okay, maybe we should go banana, and then they got shut down by the two-man stack over there. So it's always hard to know. We don't have the communication. But NRG definitely started out great, but then kind of fizzled out at the end of the round. This time around, Godsent, SMGs, and an M4.
Godsent taking a nice quick control. Now they're going to look to make sure that they can keep that established going further into this map, of course, by not getting ecoed in the second round. It's a little bit light from NRG. We do see the usual force-ups for a few players, and then, of course, Peter flying down into just the P250 to save up for the AWP. Of course, even with that light force spot, are still able to do quite a bit with it if they can find themselves in good positions. And you can see they're sitting back, taking this very passively right now. They knew that Godsent might have tried to get a little bit aggressive here. So they're looking to take advantage upon that, if at all possible, before being forced to make a move themselves. And it is looking like that they are going to try to swing over here towards the crossroads. Not sure if they're going to head up towards mid or make banana control it, although the blob is moving forward. It does seem like they're definitely going to favor towards banana here.
Two players on this B bomb side, and two players ready to rotate. One of them actually already making his way to that archway, but not happening fully right now. The push is going to come in. Pith is going to be the one to receive. Standing ready and waiting with his UMP-45. No utility to block this off, though.
They're going to not leave themselves a whole lot of time to make this execute happen. So Pitt just lines up two players right at the start. He will go down to ANJ, but they've got another guy off the flower pots. And normally, you're only really going to be able to get one kill from that position, but Pronax actually sneaks in a second one, too, since they're not working with the best arsenal. Time is running low. That last player really forced into trying to go for a play that was ANJ there, and he gets knocked up by Pronax as well. So nice, clean second round from Godsent. They only lose Pitt along the way.
Yeah, another thing to note, the guy behind the Godsent guys right now, of course, Mesioso, former... actually, he was an ESL admin and then moved to Refresh, and now has been moved to the Godsent coach position for at least these couple of months. Mostly focusing on the major, but of course that didn't happen as they wanted. So now he's still with the team, making sure that everything is on point. Disco Double, an aggressive play towards second mid, picks up one that stabs going down, but of course, only pistols right now for the Terrors. Not a lot of hope in this round.
Yeah, pretty quick cleanup here, as you can see from Godsent. Not a whole lot going on, unfortunately. Fugly with a nice little surprise at the end there. He does swing out, finishing off one player with the Glock. So they get 2 kills overall in rounds number 2 and 3. So not really a whole lot of damage being done, unfortunately, for NRG. And that's going to allow for Godsent to have a nice little stack of money, but they're also going to be left over with a lot of these anti-eco guns going into the first gun round. As you can see here, the MP9 still sitting on Pronax and Disco Doplin. Still going to end up working on a UMP, while the others have upgraded to more standard weapons. I think Pitt actually threw his SMG away and actually voluntarily just upgraded to the M4 on this round. Peter, though, getting a nice kill on a Twist. Twist taking a big risk here early on, and it not paying off at all. So the op's going to go right onto the ground. Should be able to be recovered, though, by someone like Pronax or Disco Dopplet if they want to try to pick that gun up back at mid.
I think that's one of the biggest problems for Godsent right now, is that they get too confident in this situation, because like Twist didn't have that good a spawn, but he still went for the peek into middle, and Peter just with the standard T-spawn is going to make it out way earlier than he is, and that's the problem right now with playing, as they say, like doing dumb stuff and doing with confidence. You can get too much confidence, and then NRG going to be ready to punish you, or at least they should be. This time around they were. Twist gone down. Disco Doblin picked up the AWP, and now Peter, also very important that he gets a good start, as we talked about. If he goes down in the first 6 or 7 rounds, his confidence is going to be very low, and that's going to affect his teammates as well. So very important that he gets off to a good start with the AWP here.
Still remains rather quiet for NRG after they pick up that first kill. At the same time, Godsent really not peeking out themselves. Disco Doplin caught with a nade in hand, though. He's just going to fall down like a domino here. So for the other two that are left on the A-bomb site, they have to save it. But again, nicely found. It's all up to Lecro to try and keep this one rolling, but it's not going to happen. He's only able to chain together 1 kill. And that's with a lot of assistance coming out from Pitt there. Breeze lines up the last frag as he takes down Pronax. And there you go. It's actually a very clean initial gun round from NRG.
Yeah, everything was pretty much on point there. Peter's peaks on point. The timing onto especially Disco Doblin here is very nice. ANJ's entry towards the bomb side, of course he gets shut down by the second guy. They have the crossfire set up, but his first peek onto that guy on the bomb side, on point. And now, 4 AKs coming in, but a bit of a mix of things on Godsent's side of things. It's going to be Famas and UMP-45 as they're setting up to take a bit of banana control, but Molotovs from both teams kind of deny any further movement up or down the banana region.
And Godsent is going to try to push out aggressively using these mollies and smokes to maintain constant control. It was actually a great spray. About 2/3 of Peter's HP getting knocked off as a result of that from Pit. It's nicely found. Now they need to make sure that they can actually hold off the A-bombs. This is the problem. NRG just walked right in and had some great entry power. Disco Doppelin trying to take a risk on that up on top position, but had no one to distract for him, so unfortunately didn't get very far with it. Now it's up to Lekro again. He gets a nice double kill, though, potentially a triple. There it is, one more. Still up on the site, but that's finally going to be able to take him down. And ANJ assisting with Breeze here to try and hold the line. It's going back down to a 2v2, and nice spotting by Breeze. Takes down Pit as soon as he tries to push on Moto. It's only on Twist now in a 1v2, and he's working with the op currently as well.
Yeah, the duo of ANJ and Breeze, I think, is going to be a very, very good duo in the coming months in the NA scene. And right now, they're showing kind of like a demo version of what this could be right now. Playing very well, both of them in this round, 2 kills each. Probably going to finish this one off. Twist in a position where it's a 50-50 gamble if he should save or not. But he's, of course, looking for the first opening. If he gets the opening, he's probably going to go for it 100%. But if he doesn't, then... If he doesn't find anything right now, I'd probably like him to save here, but
they know he's
for it. Confidence is key.
Switches out to the AK. They already heard that scopes. They know he's here, but nicely found on the first kill. And needs to check that top left corner, though. Doesn't even look for it. So Breeze gets a nice, easy frags that close out on the round. And now they're only one away from tying this up at 2-3.
Very nice interest into the bomb site for NRG, and that's what they need. They need that push into the bomb site to work. Lekro tried to shut it down and did a very good job of that, but in the end, it wasn't enough. Picking up 3 there, Dabs, Peter, and Fockley, all going down to the M4 of Lekro. Pistols now on the CT side of things. Surely NIG are going to take this one home and tie it up. Lekro with a Deagle and Banana. Used to be Freiburg of NIP that was the king of Banana, but now Lekro trying to be the prince.
Well, Daps will push in. He'll be able to catch a nice early frag here. None of the Godsent guys are sitting on ecos. Finding one with his Mach 10 as well there. So we're going to end up with a nice little bonus check. Picking up that kill. Still a few more to be found, of course, as now Godsent do back up. They're going to let NRG basically have their way with both of these bomb sites. There's no contention at the mid choke point. There's no contention on Banana leading up to B. So NRG is actually going to have a pretty easy time leading up to the site. When they find the fight is going to be within the site itself. And B's definitely going to be the appropriate choice as they continue to push in. They are keeping the options open, though, as they are lined up essentially just into a default at this point. So.
At this point, the most they can hope for is getting a couple of exit frags, just maybe saving a weapon into the next round. And I think that's the plan right now. That's why they're not contesting, let's say, mid or the other big choke points, because there's not going to be too much of a chance of them getting anything done long range against an AK-47. If Dabs comes running up with the Mach 10, that doesn't really gain them much because they don't want the Mach 10 anyways. So
Godsent took a risk here, though. Look at this. They fully rotated towards B where they only had 1 player here before, so now all of a sudden they've got a great stack to hold this off. They still only have those pistols, though. And that is the unfortunate truth to this round, despite them having a great snack to counter this play out. Lekro in the open. It took him a minute, but they did spot him out. Fortunately, he was completely blind to that flashbang, so had no clue how to fire back at these guys. And now moving back in, Disco Doppelin going to get one from Emo, looking for the second now as he's stucking behind Jesus Pole, trying to do more work here. Finds a second kill, but he's lost all of his teammates. So he does eventually go down to Peter. And NRG will indeed find that 3rd round in a row to tie it up.
It has to give them confidence, knowing that they went into the stack bomb side and still managed to survive with 3 players. Not really getting too bothered about the Godsent stack there. But now, Bai coming in from the Godsent boys. Almost full utility setup, only missing a couple things, but only 1 kit on Disco Doppelin. That's going to be interesting if, let's say, they kill Disco Doppelin on one of the bomb sites. Right now he's on A, and then they go B, and they don't pick up the kit, then they're going to be without a kit on that CT side. So that could be a very unlucky thing coming out for Godsent in the end, but Peter with the op, no op to answer on that CT side. Pronex got down to 64 HP.
Decent early nade against Pronex there too. As you can see, NRG's been looking for ways to counter out some of this early aggression back on Banana, but look at this little boost that they're doing right here now. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. They see Pronex coming from a mile away because the smoke really doesn't cover it off, so ANJ is going to be the one to find that frag, and again, Godsent will start off a man down. Hit, as we mentioned before, already hit by that nade too, so actually more recently, I should say, getting hit by some damage. So he's going to be brought down to right around 50 HP. And he's going to be relatively weak, which is why he's now getting extra support from Twist. Over the tree position, waiting for a B hit to work its way into this site.
Let's have a look. Smoke's being lined up. Breeze getting ready. Dabs on the other side of the map. Taking control together with Fockley. Not entirely set up for a specific execute here. Wasting some utility here towards the B bomb side. Potentially a fake, as they still have 2 members up in the A apartments. Yeah, Breeze is going to be doing the fake here. He's going to be pushing in now. The push is going to come to the opposite side of the map. Smokes are in, so he's just sneaking his way in, trying to find an opening. When he finds an opening or dies, the push is going to happen towards the other bomb site.
Going to go with that jump up on the grills. They are going to be waiting for him, but he finds Twist.
Oh.
And doesn't even realize that Pit is still hiding in the site, so he's going to be able to walk away scot-free. And Pit is just trying to hide away so that he can at the very least catch that trade. He catches it, and now his teammates are actually doing a pretty good job of holding off. The problem is Pit got caught trying to retreat back over inside of the church. So ANJ walks in. Do they have enough time to plant? That looks like they're just barely going to be able to get that down with 4 seconds in excess. So NRG securing that one, and I don't even think Disco Doppelin and Lekra are really going to be able to contest this. Probably just going to be hanging out inside of the pit, looking to stay alive with his rifles and save them for the next round.
That is a good decision here. They have one flash to work with. Lekros on 52 HP. They know Peter has an AWP and 2 AKs that can hold every single angle. They don't have time to check all those angles, especially if the player with the kit goes down, then the round is pretty much lost. So I like the reasoning here, going for the save. And NRG going up 4-3. Godsent, of course, as Smix mentioned earlier, like they have major players in that team. Players who have been in 6 situations. Pronax, one of the most prominent in-game leaders of not all time, but one of the most like recognized in-game leaders in CS:GO. And he's on a team now that's going down to NRG. Of course, there's still a long way to go, but it's insane how the mighty have fallen.
I mean, you just look at their major titles. That alone in itself is enough to justify his place among the greats.
Yeah, for sure.
But we have the first pause coming in. It is a technical pause, so we should hopefully be able to get that resolved pretty quickly. And then once that is fixed, we'll jump right back into the match. But NRG off to a hot start here after slowly getting into this match. They did lose that initial pistol in the follow-up rounds, of course, but immediately, as soon as that first gun round started, it's been all NRG, and there really hasn't been much contention coming in from the Godsent side, unfortunately. These have been pretty much walkable rounds for NRG. It hasn't even seemed like they've been relatively close, so it's a little bit rough on these gun rounds for Godsent. They do have some makeup work to do to make sure that this pattern doesn't continue too far into this half.
So, just waiting here to find out what's exactly going on, but definitely a pause coming in. And
Dap said mic issue, so
fair enough.
Looks like they'll fix that real quick.
But of course, the players are ready to go. Just get that fixed, and then we'll be straight back on the way here. Yeah, NRG having a good start so far, to be honest. Played pretty standard on this T side, but rotations coming in. They're good at finding out, okay, if we get the weakness, if we get the opening on that B bomb side, we can go in and take over that, catch Pith in the mid of his rotation. The timings have worked out very well. Pretty standard smoke setups, but still, they make it work. And that's kind of the thing they need to excel on, because technically, of course, the aim of Godsent should outshine them pretty much player to player, apart from maybe Breeze. So they need to rely on those strats. They need to rely on their utility usage, because I think that's where they could perhaps catch Godsent out, because as the desk talked about, like, they're not going to be too tactical going into this.
Well, looks like we are going to be getting back into the match in the next 10 seconds here, so we will be unpaused. And for Godsent, this delay, unfortunately, it's probably going to rattle them a little bit, as they do need to stay focused. They do need to make sure that they're focused on the gameplay here. This won't be the round to necessarily make a comeback on, though, as while they do have 2 saved guns, everyone else on the team is just working with the basic pistol pickups, and it's not looking like they'll actually have any additional lives coming in behind. There's a little bit more. You'll see more of it when we actually get in game, folks, of course, but Pit ends up with armor. Twist and Pronax, unfortunately, don't have that, so they're going to be relatively weak. And of course, Disco Doppelin and Lekra still have what they carried for the previous round, but that's about it.
All right, so we're about to jump into round number 8. And map 1, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the DreamHack ASTRO Open Atlanta, where NRG and Godsent are facing off in an elimination game. Winner of this goes on to face Envious, and the decider and the loser is straight eliminated here from Atlanta.
Last place.
Last place.
Feels bad.
Yeah.
Well, for Disco Doppelin, things are going to feel bad for him, unfortunately, here, as he will lose 40 of his HP right at the start. Breeze actually does get tagged through the wall, but it's only for 1 HP. So that's something. He's just going to be a little bit freaked out by that, and he'll back up probably a little bit, as you already saw there.
Dabs trying to make his way into a hotly contested apartment section, but he knows that CTs in this situation usually like to push up and place close angles, so he's not taking too many chances here, and I really like that, playing a more conservative approach towards the apartments when you know the CTs are on pistols and you don't want to challenge them close range. Using the flashbang, oh, but Disco Doblin coming in with the backup, double frag, Twist as the bait, and Lecro bouncing back as well, using these 2 saved rifles to pretty much 100% success rate.
They did that flashbang twice, so I think Disco Doblin noticed the second one and was able to look away from that one. Now he's got his 3rd kill too against ANJ, leaving only Peter alive here, trying to clutch out in a 1v3. Now Peter had a good performance yesterday, but this is going to be asking a lot from him. He's also in a pretty peculiar situation here too. He's going to run in the pit in a second. Peter's coming from a mile away, and unfortunate timing on the weapon switch there does catch him out. So Pit's going to be able to win that, and Godsent finally with another round. Their first since the first gun round itself. So now they're going to be able to tie it back up at 4-4.
Very nice round by Disco Doblin here. Picking up the first 2 in that apartment area and then going for the 3rd as well. Sitting in Graveyard, just getting it done. Very nice job. Stepping back with only 2 rifles coming into a round. Clearly it's the underdogs in that round. Bringing it back now, up on Twist, up on Peter, but no duel just yet because Twist is on Banana.
Twist hanging back, he'll get flashed out actually, so he's going to be forced to fall back. His teammate is here with him. This repeat though is going to be very ballsy if he decides to go for it. Molly's and a lot of extra utility being used by the T's at this point. Going to force the CTs further back into the site even more so. Got them initial control of the old car area. It has not pushed them up to the site though, and they had to use a lot of utility in order to get that done. So they do still have a decent amount of smokes and whatnot, but like in terms of mollies and HEs, those have been pretty much tossed away. So NRG's not really gonna have a whole lot of that when they execute moves. And they still have one on Peter, so they have the capability to use that if they switch up the site here, or of course need to burn someone out from within the B-bomb side of the pit over towards A.
They still have 4 smokes and a Molotov, which is okay for the execute. We'll probably prefer them to have 2 Molotovs instead of 1 so they can flush out 2 different positions, but it's probably gonna be okay as we look towards the CTs, where they only have 3 smokes to spare. And Twist is on the Banana, so 1 or 2 towards that A-bomb site. Not the perfect scenario to block off CTs or block off Ts as they go in, as it looks like it's going to be an A push.
They're already making their way past the choke point. They need to get the bomb still. That's still way back where it's at a T-spawn. So that's going to take them some time to grab that. And actually, when they finally start this execute, assuming it goes into A, they're actually going to be, oh no, it looks like it's switching up now. They're going to go for B. So I think they're going to split this here, as they've got both Fugly and A&J also going back in, and they're going to smoke off towards Moto to make sure that they can cleanly go in through arches and over towards this side. So that's going to pull Pit away. He can't immediately assist with the B hit, which leaves defending that only to Twist and Lecro. Pit doesn't get anything done. Twist, however, is able to hold on, gets a nice 2 frags. These T's are being held back. Beautiful work from Twist, and that pretty much has killed the round right there. These last 2 are trying to make an effort to get inside, but there's no way they're going to be able to plant the bomb in time. So now it's all just a matter of dying before the timer goes out, and thankfully Godsent will oblige on that one. Twist, along with Disco Doblin, picking up those final 2 kills.
Yeah, he's one of these players, Twist, that has been struggling to find a place, but no one can deny his potential and his individual skill with the AWP. I still remember, like back in the beginning of CSGO, when he was just wrecking everyone, he was being touted as like this new big talent coming in with the AWP, but he never really got to a position where he kind of like unlocked his potential, and I still think he's at this position where he's not at 100% yet. I think he can still be better than he is currently, but just there we saw a little bit of a highlight of what he could do when he's on 100%. 4K with the AWP, shutting down that full buy completely, and now NRG forced into a pistol round.
So finally the tides turn in the favor of the CTs a little bit more here. Godsent figure out how to counter on NRG. Take a little bit of a stride here. They've reserved themselves a little bit better. They've pulled away from that earlier aggression. They've kind of learned and have been forced to respect their opponents a bit more here. That's working out well for Godsent now that they have the lead back. They have a little bit of an advantage to play off of here. And on this round, things should get relatively easy, so they should be able to clean it up and start building up a little bit more of a bank too, because right now, despite the fact that Godsent are on a bit of a streak, they don't really have a lot of extra money going for themselves. Only a 2-round streak, but still being able to build that up is certainly going to be nice to them. And so far, things are going exactly as they should on a round like this. 4 quick kills in the favor of Godsent. Basically no response at all from that T side. Twist missing, but a quick switch over to the 5-7 is going to net him the kill. And indeed, it's a 5-man alive round from Godsent with no responses from NRG at all.
Now NRG at a point where they can buy. Nice little spread out here coming out for Disco Doblin. That double stack towards short. Twist and Disco Doblin just locking that eco down completely. But now in a situation where NRG has a buy, but it's not 100% utility-wise. A couple of the players are missing, or one of the players is missing a smoke. A couple of them are missing flashes and Molotovs. So it's not 100%. Lecro, under the supervision of Twist, is pushing aggressively towards mid, picking up dabs, going for seconds.
Lecro got to be able to move out there. Finally, the aggression pays out for him, finding dabs on a gun round as well. Not even taking that risk on just an eco here for the NRG side of things. So NRG already losing a player, and oh, now Lecker will try to continue that conquest forward. But he was countered out by Fugly. He got decent damage against Fugly, though, knocking out about half of his HP, but more aggression. This is not what Godsent need. Disco Doppelin caught pushing down the T-steps. He's going to be eliminated by ANJ. And now all of a sudden the tables have turned. There's one more flank working against them, however, and that's going to come from Prodax, and nicely done. He lines up the double kill. Well, one more player going to contest him, and he has no clue that that play is coming. So Breeze takes him out, ANJ finds another one against Twist, and it's all on Pit now in a 1v2. And he has to properly read which site they're going to move into, but thankfully he picks the right one. Catches ANJ trying to go into the A-bomb site, and now just assumes that Breeze is going to head over towards the other side, which looks like he's correct about that.
So here throws the smoke to kind of throw off the CT, but the CT is already rotated.
The problem is, too, is that now he's used this smoke as a fake, but Pit's here, ready to take the duel at cross, and it's a very easy duel for him to win. So there you go. Pit's able to line that one up, close it out, and it's another round for Godsent. They're up to 7 with a 3-round lead.
You can see the smiles coming out on that Godsent side. Looking quite happy there. I think that was Twist. As Pronax just shuts things down, double frag from him coming in, and Pith finishing it off in that 1v1, as you said. Smoke not available for that CT1, and that makes the duel way easier for Pith. And now, pistols, armor, and utility for NRG, and Twist going for aggressive peaks. And this is the story so far. They've gone very aggressive on their CT side, and it has been working out most of the time.
The problem is they're losing a lot of players, though, doing it, so I am worried about the economical ramifications of that. When, I'm not even going to say if, like, when NRG start winning on a few more rounds here, because we would assume that at the very least they'd be able to pick up a few more. I might be wrong about that, but I'll be the bold one. ANJ finds that initial shot, finds a second one, too, and now a third frag, and there we go, just like I was talking about. NRG having great control here, putting this into a 4v2. They are still behind in the weaponry a little bit, although they've scavenged 2 rifles now. A third also just picked up by Peter. So for Disco Doppelin and Twist, they've been completely blocked out of the site and really do not have a clean way to get back into it.
ANJ,
nice shot.
They're doing good job, but talk about good jobs. That was sick from Twist coming in there. Now Disco Doppelin trying to make his way. Peter takes his head clean off, and now Twist should go ahead and save, and he's doing exactly that. But ANJ with a double opening with a Tech 9 grabs an AK-47 for himself. Very nice, and seen a little bit of the potential of what ANJ can bring into this team. His aim is on point, and his movement just the same.
I mean, you were talking about him dropping 30 bombs.
He's on 15.
We're in round 12, and he's already at 15. So
it might not even just be the memes.
So you might have just made the best prediction I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You ended up being right about that one.
Like, of course, in this position, I wouldn't count on him doing that because I don't feel like he's anywhere near his 100%. But I feel like when he's on 100% with this team, I think that is not a meme that he could drop 30 bombs. Of course, if he's doing it now, that's great. That's very early.
Works but, for you, at least.
It works for me. I'm going to look very nice. But yeah, of course, not a 100% serious prediction. But I'll take all the praise anyways.
So here's the issue, nicely found from Twist. Here's the issue with the aggressive play style here from Godsent is that they do immediately end up on a broken bye just after losing one round. They now don't have a choice. They have to win this round or they're going to get economically destroyed here and reset. And that's immediately going to put NRG back in the match and put them within one or 0 rounds of being able to tie this match up. So it's a good thing that Godsent, at the very least, were able to catch out Daps before Peter peeked out enough there to find Twist peeking on that left side. It worked out the timing aspect of it just well enough. Thought they could freely grab Daps without any major repercussions.
Look at this banana control, though. They could technically set up a crossfire and do that, but let's see, Disco Doppelin has only a flash and Pith only has, well, he has nothing. So if they had a secondary smoke, they could probably have set up the crossfire at the bottom of Banana, but doesn't work out this time around. Pith is probably spotted, but doesn't take any damage. Flash coming in now.
Yeah, the rest of NRG looks like they're not even going to toy around with it this time. They're getting ready to go directly over towards the site. And Godsent are preparing their rotates. They've been very heavily committed to these rotates, and this one's a good one because they've already been able to read into this one. Since you have Pronax way out over there towards mid, he's been able to see this one. Oh, nice shot from Twist again. Just takes a guess, and it works out well. Breeze trading with that Molly doing so much damage. The last man alive, Fugly's already been sprayed down so much at 26 HP, and Twist looking for him. Can't find him, though. The flashbang and the smoke making it a little bit too confusing. Finally, Fugly does go down, however, and there you go. It's another round for Godsent, up to 8 here now as we head into the last 2 rounds of the half.
And that's a bit of a problem, in my opinion, with the NRG side. They're very slow at making their conclusion about where they want to go. You saw Pronax pushed all the way down almost into T-spawn before they actually executed onto that B-bomb side. And at that point, Pronax is constantly saying, okay, I'm here, there's no one, I'm here, there's no one. As further he gets down, as they're going to be absolutely sure, okay, it's going to be a banana play. And then they're just ready for that. Twist of the smoke knows exactly what's coming. Once again, the aggressive play is paying off for Godsent, but this time around, Pronax shutting it down with the spray and banana. 1-2 players going down, and Disco Doblin through mid. Fugly can do nothing. He's not expecting that. At this point, I think they have to respect the fact that Godsent are going aggressive on pretty much every single angle on the map, and they have to be ready for it.
And now Fugly's been locked inside of a smoke box here. No way to get outside of it. They do use the molly to try and see if they can see beyond the smoke too, but Fugly's smart. He is gonna toss his own smoke over top of that one to counter it out. So trying to do his best. At this point, really trying to prioritize and get maximum damage. He may actually be able to sneak a plant here, though. He does need to get the kill against Pit. But if he can find that frag, he can very easily get a plant at the very least and give his team a little bit of extra cash going into that final round.
Still smoking a flashbang. He could smoke off CT and flash towards Coffins, as he knows the general idea of where Pit could probably be. High flash, doesn't do much with it. Tries to bait out any CTs, but they're not peeking.
Just making sure that his presence was known. You can see him constantly going back to check over there, an old car spot. Pit's smart. Oh, he's hiding back. He's waiting for this peak, slow peak to come back in. And when push comes to shove, he'll win that initial duel. Doesn't let his opponents get away with the flank and the plant. And off of that, Godsent get another round. Relatively clean fashion, up to 9 here now. Coming into the final round, and that's not going to leave NRG with a whole lot of cash left over, even to force buy and fully buy out on this 15th round.
This is going to be a very shoddy one. 3 pistols and a UMP-45 and an AK. Hero AK on ANJ, which I felt like it could be him or Breeze having the Hero AK this time around, but ANJ is of course playing really, really nicely here on Inferno, so I understand the sentiment. Disco Doblin once again pushing out, and they're refragging, but they still allow him to get that first peek. They know he's coming, and Twist is coming in, grabbing that second frag as well. And well, I'm glad that they're switching to the CT side now because.
Oh no.
Oh no. That was close, but. NRG, they've not been good enough at shutting down this aggressive play from Godsent. They have to had some kind of idea that, okay, they're probably going to play aggressive. And after the first, let's say, 8 rounds, you have to be 100% sure that that is happening. But they haven't been able to shut it down. Peter, got to get the bomb plan here. Doesn't it really matter? Because they're just going to shut him down.
Completely surrounded regardless, so they will be able to take him out. And while Godsent sneak through and get themselves into double digits at the end of the half, with Twist being the one that's the most impressive out of the 5 on that roster. 18 and 8 at the end of the first half, with 3 other players also getting over 10 frags. Pronax, the only one that was not able to accomplish that, but he's pretty close, only at 9, whereas Pit is right up at 10 there.
Very nice half. You can see the smiles on Godsent, and it's because, like, what they're doing is not rocket science. They're just pushing aggressively pretty much all positions.
No, I mean,
pushing into second mid, pushing banana, taking control.
The analyst does phrase it perfectly about how they were getting, info from Flusher, just make really stupid plays and be confident about it. And that seemed to be what we were seeing a lot of from Godsent. There was a lot of times where they're making these plays like, oh my god, why are they doing this? Why are they pushing out so much? But it worked out a majority of the time. It was definitely a bumpy start, but after they kind of got the ball rolling and figured out how to weigh that aggression properly, they took really dominant control, and then the later portion of the half was pretty much all under their control. Yeah,
definitely. And that's what I've been saying. Like, I don't think NRG are, right now at least, on their T side, they haven't been good enough at shutting down that aggression, because if you see, of course you expect it from Godsent with the stand-in that they play aggressive. After 5 rounds, when you see them push aggressively, almost every single round, you have to be 100% sure that that is happening, but they still didn't take enough measures to shut that down. But now, pistol round coming in, look at that. Disco Doblin with the Raid Boss Tech 9 armor.
Push back in, Fugly's gonna be first at the bat here to try and stop this. Gets a nice, beautiful streak of kills, and Peter chimes in for 2 more. Only 1 remains, it's Pit, but he's gonna have to pull off a 1v5, and that's nigh impossible. Fugly moves in with a 3rd and final kill for himself on the pistol, and that's a dominant stance.
Very nice. Yeah, very nice coming back into the game here, taking that pistol in dominant form. They need the confidence now. The only problem is that they have to make sure they don't get reset, because the Tech 9 buy right now is going to be very dangerous. They also have a couple of deagles in there as well, so at least 3 deagles actually coming in from Godsent. This is a dangerous round. NRG have to play this one not only with respect, but also make sure that you don't give Godsent enough map control or space. So it's kind of like that, like golden middle way between those two. You have to respect them because they have good weaponry, at least enough to take you out with their current aim, but you also have to you can't give them too much space. ANJ holding back into the bomb site, UMP-45 just holding his angle, letting them take apartments control. That is probably the only area you can afford to give away in this kind of situation, and he's just going to hold back, as is the rest of his team.
Interesting side note. As we've also had this evolve into another game too, but so far no one's T side has been able to win a pistol both of the games.
That's true.
Curious to see if that's going to happen in the second map, but it's been all CT pistols come today. Both teams have respectively just traded them out. So Godsent getting ready to try and throw a little bit of aggression over here into the B bomb site. They are going to be held back temporarily by a CT smoke. Not sure for how long, but they are also trying to throw a few players over here towards the mid choke point at A as well. ANJ specifically. Up at bat first for the CT side here, but does pull away when he sees that for the most part. Godsent also retreated. However, just as he does that, Twist is able to re-aggress, getting himself back inside. And meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Pronax is going hunting for some heads, just not getting lucky at the start. Daps, though, is definitely going to get pressured. He's stuck by the terrace. He's going to be careful of this flank that can work its way in. And there we go. Twist catching one. Daps gets the trade onto Twist. He's supported by a teammate here now, but they've also taken complete control of the wrap-up towards CT here. And there we go. Pronax pushing in. He eliminates Fugly. And that's full control of the B-bombs that going over to Godsent here. Lekro just holding a few more of them off with the Deagle. Perfectly played from Godsent to completely isolate off the rotators and now make this a relatively difficult retake from NRG, despite this being a force buy from Godsent.
Only one flashbang, and Breeze is already on his way to save it with 7 HP. There's not really a lot he can do. And AJ will be forced into the same position now. And Godsent, yeah, with the force up, they managed to do it, and that was what I said, like NRG should watch out for. That's the one thing that cannot happen to them. That's what's going to reset them, not just economically, they have 2 weapons safe, but more emotionally and confidence-wise. This is not good to be reset on that second round. You always feel very bad about that.
I mean, just with the scoreline alone, it's going to be a death bell for Godsent, or excuse me, for NRG if they don't immediately convert this back.
So AJ is at least able to get one of the frags there, get a little bit back and pad his scoreline a little bit. But to be honest, at this point, it doesn't really matter how many frags that ANJ gets when you still have like players like Dab sitting on 2 to 14. It's
rough.
Yeah, that's very rough. Fugly is trying to do his best, 12 to 12, of course, with the 3K and the pistol. Breeze only on 9 also. So NRG definitely needs some of their core players to step up here in order to be able to take some more rounds here and make this a close contest.
And as expected, NRG will force into the 18th round here now. They get the best buy that they can possibly muster up. But even with that, it's still going to have 2 pistols in the buy here. But still, at the very least, they still also have a few SMGs and a single rifle sitting on Breeze. Just the utility aspect of this is going to be lacking quite a bit. So Godsent is going to be able to move up and take control of areas like the old car spot here. And possibly the mid choke point as well. Although NRG is putting a little bit more active contention on it, but mainly towards like old car. Godsent don't have to deal with smokes, they don't have to deal with mollies. Really, they won't have to deal with flashbangs either, as that's a precious commodity for NRG right now, and they really can't afford to waste those. Nice initial shot from Peter, though, up on top of the boost position, and he catches Disco Doppler, knocking him back out. Pronax looking for the trade. Took him a moment to realize that Peter had crossed. Just couldn't actually get the kill. He survives it. He gets behind cover with 14 HP.
2 players rotating away from the banana, but now going straight back. I feel like Pith here could make some noise towards mid, and then the play could go towards that B bomb side, but that Fugly just grabbing that weapon and then rotating back. So now he has an AK in his hands. They can do the boost here, put Peter up on the flowers, and then rotate Fugly away to hold a longer range angle. Now they have this double fire set up, and the second that someone peeks, they're probably going to shut them down, at least the first frag.
Peter's already so low, though, so that's a huge risk. And look, he just dies to a grenade. I don't even know if they were trying to knock him out of up on top there, more so trying to push those players back, so that's unfortunate. Fugly also got lit pretty heavily, too. So again, basically free site control given to Godsent, and NRG really don't have a lot of options for a clean retake. It's even, so I think they're going to go for it this time, but they're all at CT, so it's just a funnel.
Yeah, they should technically not go for it. I know it sounds insane. It's 4v4.
They're giving it up now.
Yeah, Fugly with low HP. They don't have the correct weaponry. They only have 1 flashbang to retake with. So yeah, it's a hard situation for NRG, but they're forced by the fact that that double setup with Peter on the far bits, of course, on low HP, that did not work out at all for them, and that kind of like ends the round pretty much for NRG there. Godsent will be on 12 now. NRG still in a situation where they can probably force up around this, but if they're not getting 100% buy, that's just terrible. Because they need 100% buy against Godsent.
Godsent now doubles their scoreline at 6 to 12 here. NRG end up with the few saved guns, but besides that, those that didn't end up dying completely are really not going to end up with that much. Peter, actually, well, that's a what is this money situation now?
Yeah, this is
really weird.
Because Peter's buying down to $50. The rest of the team are staying around 2K. 2K is what you want if you want to buy up in the next one, and Peter's saying, nope, I don't want a weapon in that next one. I want a weapon now. Or at least he wanted utility now, because that's what he actually spent his money on.
So probably a miscommunication.
Yeah, it has to be.
If not, Peter just rage bought essentially, and that, I mean that just shows how like poor the situation is for NRG right now, despite the good start. I mean, what, like 8 or 9 rounds into the first half, they lost all control, and it's just been Godsent taking everything from that point forward. There really hasn't been a whole lot of contests being put up by NRG, even on this T side so far, even though we've only played a few rounds. Godsent have pretty much just walked onto the B site 2 out of 4 of these rounds so far.
Nice confidence play coming in there. Dabs and AJ working well together. Getting that double in. Breeze coming in with one as well, and now it's only 3v5. Good setup for the CTs. Twist now trying to make his way in towards the bomb site.
It's going to be a nice little stack. However, Twist realizes what's going on because the Pit tried to do that, but oh, Twist gets blocked by his teammate. He can't fall back in time, so ANJ is actually going to be able to get that kill. Disco Doppelin, now the last one standing here. They still have to move the bomb over to the site as well, as that's still in the hands of Lekro. They've got a 2-2 split on the sites. So if Godsent play this together with Disco and Lekro, they actually still have a decent chance of making it onto the site and then holding it from that point forward if they don't lose either of their own players and taking control. There's the CT cross smoke moving up. They know that there's got to be at least one sitting behind Nubox still because of that boost. Disco Doppelin had lock on that the entire time, so he knew that there was no way the player sitting behind Nubox was going to be able to retreat. Now one remains on this site. It's going to be Daps. He does reveal himself a little bit early there, trying to sneak off a headshot, but it doesn't work out. He is going to stay alive, however. So it's going to be a 3v2 on the retake in favor of the CTs.
Only one flashbang to retake with, and that has to come in now.
Lekro's right out in the open, though, so he's completely blind to it. They don't even realize he's sitting behind second oranges, though. Gets some good damage in before he goes down, but now Disco Doppelin is the 1v3. There's 1, 2, and 3 from Disco Doppelin as he gets the big clutch, pushing Godsent forward again.
There's just nothing you can do against that when Disco Doppelin steps out. I like the way that they use the flashback to get into the site. They get the first flash in, they get the first frag in as well, but now Disco Doppelin sprays down the guy in CT. Nice spray control on the last two, just gets him down. Very nice position as well. That's why Disco Doppelin is on this team. He's such a good player individually, and he can step up in any kind of clutch scenario. And as we see, like Peter, he only has money for a pistol and some utility, so yeah, I'm not sure what happened in the last round, but definitely not an ideal situation because they need this round now, NRG. If they don't get this, I'm pretty sure Godsent are going to run away with this map.
It's like the opposite of when you save the extra money for an op. Now he's spent the extra money and he only has a pistol.
Yeah.
So just tried the reverse psychology, didn't really work out too well. Nice nade, however. It's, I think that's pretty much max damage on Pit right there. Don't think he can do any more than 48.
Let's see, Fuckley in the corner position. Here's the shots and tries to shoot through the smoke. Doesn't really do any damage whatsoever. They're leaving one player on that banana. I think that was Pronax in the corner. It was. And he's just holding this position while the rest of his team rotating over to the other bomb site, see if they can find an opening. And I'm pretty much like, I'm feeling Godsent's default is, let's try and find an opening. Wherever we find an opening, we just go. And it's working out for them so far. It's not very strategical. It's probably on the borderline to dumb, as they would probably say on Twitter. But it's working, and if it's working, we can't critique it.
Now pushing back in, Lekro is going to find the initial entry. Breeze to trade and get a second kill as well. Peter also finding one with that pistol, and Daps killing one on the retreat, leaving only Disco Doppelin alive. He's clutched this before. Now he's going to have to do it again and basically DM out this last 1v2 here because that bomb is stuck down in the middle. He does get basically a free kill against Daps because he was looking the wrong way. Now he's going to find Peter out in the open. The flashbang is perfect. Peter smart ducks. Oh! Disco Doppelin, the one tap out of nowhere, just deletes Peter from the server and pushes Godsent up to 14 rounds.
If Peter wasn't tilted before, he has to be tilted now. Like that had to be his round. Look at that from, just clicks him. Boop.
That little black dot that he can see and immediately just hits the headshot. Nicely done. That's 2 clutches in a row from Disco Doppelin as well. And a 1v3, the 2 rounds back, and then the last round of the 1v2.
That's so demoralizing if you're NRG.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, I just hate to see it.
So Godsent are going to get ready, and I believe they're just going to push up banana this time now, since NRG are completely broken. I mean, this odd buying with Peter continues as well, because now he's got a little bit more money, so he's going to end up on the ump, whereas everybody's on the CC. It works out, I guess, since he's the only one playing towards B, but it's still a very interesting situation that NRG ends up in right now.
Close position as well. When the smoke dissipates, he's going to be in a world of hurt. And, well, they're not really peeking it so far. Rotate comes in, so now he can actually play off his teammate, which is Fuckley coming in with a CSAT 75. So they're lining up for the crossfire. want to stop the terrorist. When they enter the bomb site, they don't want to peek before that. But smoke's coming in towards Coffins. That's probably going to block off one. Flashbang coming in towards Peter. They're pre-firing his position. Has to come out now, but only gets one. Peter's still alive, though.
But this is going to be able to tear them to shreds. Down to another 2v2 here. Disco Doplin's still alive, and that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Twist is only at 5 HP currently. Breeze is actually going to be able to walk right in, take him down. So it's another clutch for Disco Doplin. This one's going to be actually pretty hard to pull off because he might end up in a dual position here. And there we go. Daps finally able to put down Disco Doplin after 2 rounds straight of him clutching out in these situations. They will finally meet his match.
But I have to say, despite Peter, of course, being in a weird spot money-wise and not looking so good in a couple of rounds, that UMP 45 buy technically saved him there because not only did he get a lot of frags, but he also bought a lot of time, gave him a big bunch of information to his teammates as well, allowing that rotate to come in. And with the 2v2 rotator in the end and winning that against Disco Doplin, not allowing him to get the clutch. NRG are now in 7 rounds. They have a chance of trying to reset Godsent. They should see their economy, but no, Disco Doplin with the hero AK Fogged in a good position though. Gets the first one, second one, third one not coming in. Disco Doplin shuts him down. That's 2 in the round so far.
3 still left alive, and they're quickly rotating back over to this B bomb, so just no one else is within the site itself. The number 5 player, Daps, is going to be back over here in the garden in a second. Looking to take some new duels, but Pitt, quick shots on the op, is going to be able to take out Daps. Both angles completely smoked out. Bit risky planning in the open here. But thankfully, the op has already gone down for the CT side, so they do not have to worry about their shots ringing through into the usual plant positions. Now, it's all about just holding it off in the 3v2. This should be an easy hold from Godsent, considering some of the rounds they pulled off previously where they were disadvantaged here.
Molotov goes in, and Pith forced out of his position. He can't go back undercover, but Disco Doplin with another one, but eventually shut down by Breeze. Now, Breeze 1v2.
That's smoke.
Yeah, he's going to die to Pith now. Yeah, there we go. Close range Tech 9, and Godsent are going to be on 15 here on map 1 in this best of 3. NRG looked good in the beginning, but eventually it all fizzled out, and Disco Doplin just started going into God tier, pretty much wrecking NRG.
Well, NRG are able to get themselves another buy, but again, it's not that great.
Yeah.
We've got Peters up. It's your boy coming in there. So he's got that showing up. That saved them 2 rounds back. But now he's going to want to hero play with it again. And Breeze able to move in, gets this double kill. Pronex with a very messy spray, runs out of ammo, and finally goes down to A&J. That was actually very smartly played by NRG to avoid too many deaths there. Now they have the 1-man advantage here, but they need to avoid Pit and these other players from Godsent multi-fragging. It's been evened out. There's a nice little pick from Daps there. Push in, take down Pit, and it's on Lekro here now, the clutch.
And they took the page out of Godsent's CT strat book and just pushed down middle aggressively with the pistols. And we're able to shut Godsent down. Breeze with a double. And now Daps and A&J both still alive. AK and Daps, low HP. A&J on 67 with a CSET 75. Playing the same angle though, so I actually like that, making sure that wherever Lekro goes, he's going to face both of them. Now they're kind of splitting up though.
Did they? Okay, I think A&J heard him. I was about to say,
yeah.
He was being really loud. I would be very surprised if they didn't hear him. So he's going to be able to sneak past it, though, and now he can rush up to the A-bomb site. A&J should still beat him to the
he's
site
going to take him when he comes
but
out.
Lekro is going to realize he's here. So there's that kill. Daps down low at 30 HP as well. Well, Lekro only took about 20 damage from that fight, but Lekro going for this plant. Daps slow walks it, though. He doesn't go right for the kill, and the molly up on top of that. Even more damage going to Daps, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another clutch from the Godsent roster to close it out. In the last like 5 or 6 rounds, 3 of those rounds happen to be clutches, and every single time Godsent won it. 2 of them are from Disco Doplin, and the last one comes out from Lekro as they take dominant control of map number 1.
Very nice play from Godsent, closing out that map. That has to be frustrating for NRG because they looked very good in the beginning, in my opinion, because they got a lot of good rounds in. A&J really started off hitting shots, but in the end they just pretty much collapsed. Like coming in for what, 15 frags in the first half for A&J, ending up on 19.
Yeah.
It's always tough, and I have to say there has to be some form of tilt involved on that NRG team right now. They have to be very, very careful, have to reset themselves going into the second map. If not, then they're just going to fall through.
I mean, we saw the weird coordination issues coming in towards the end of the map there with like the misfire, whatever happened with Peter, you know, destabilizing the economy a little bit there towards the end of it, causing some odd issues. It kind of worked out because he got that one buy, which kind of saved them for one more round, but ultimately falling prey to this very aggressive style that we were seeing from Godsent, which, to be honest, I was doubting it at first, but it ended up working out great, and, you know, as soon as we got past those first, like, 7 or 8 rounds in the first half, it seemed like they were in control for most of the rest of the game.
All right, we're going to take a short break, then we're going to be back with map number 2 of this best of 3 elimination series. See you then.